We might have an issue with our router on a trunk configuration based on an incorrect router configuration. We've mainly been focusing on switch configuration. The router needs to be configured correctly as well. We see a couple of possible issues on screen. Maybe the router is configured with the wrong encapsulation type. Maybe the VLANs on the router are not correctly defined. You know what? We might not have the IP address in one of those subinterfaces. It might not belong to the correct subnet for a particular VLAN. Let's go out to the live interface once again and just review on a switch. If I want to see what VLANs are going over, what VLANs are allowed on this trunk, and what is my encapsulation type on the switch, we can do a show interfaces trunk. And I've got gigabit 1/0/24. I'm using .1Q encapsulation we've already determined. We see that the native VLAN is 300. We see that we're allowing VLANs 100, 200, and 300. Does this all match up on the router? Let's go over to the router and take a look at the configuration. We were taking a look at this earlier. For Fast Ethernet 0/0, I've got an interface of Fast Ethernet 0/0.100. Let's see if the VLANs match first up. We wanted to have a sub interface on the router representing VLAN 100, another one representing VLAN 200, and another one representing VLAN 300. And we seem to have all of them. Here we're saying encapsulation .1Q 100. Here is 200. Here is 300. Actually, right there's the 300. Oh, and notice the native keyword. We're making sure that the native VLAN matches up on both the router and the switch. It says here on the router that 300 is the native VLAN, and that's what we had on the switch as well. The native VLAN was 300, so that matches up. Excellent. Also, notice that all of these sub-interfaces are using .1Q encapsulation. That's important. That's matching up. And we would also, at this point, want to look at our design document. Let's make sure that the IP addresses for each of these sub-interfaces are valid IP addresses for these VLANs. Each VLAN represents a different subnet. Well, let's take a look. Does this IP address, for example, is that an IP address that is in the subnet that is associated with VLAN 100? We might, again, want to check our design documentation just to confirm that.